Hello everyone, and welcome to All the Cards on the Table. My name's Chloe and I work with card divination, astrology and energy channeling. As you can see, my hands are moving around right now. This is independent of my conscious thought. I channel energies through my body. If anything resonates in this video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel, or share with anyone who you might think this resonates with. This really helps the growth of the channel and get the channeled messages out there. This video will be an all 12 signs video for the sun ingressing into and its journey through Pisces. The sun moved into Pisces in the UK last night and is at 0 degrees today, just before the new moon in Pisces. Do go check out those videos. I've also done a collective reading and an all 12 signs video for that lunation. So the sun will be leaving Pisces on the 20th of March. So I'll be pulling cards for what we've learned. So what we've learned in the sun's journey through Aquarius, the energies coming through for the sun in Pisces. I'll also be pulling a card on the conjunction with Neptune and Mercury that's happening on the 16th of March, and then another card where these energies are manifesting long term. I'll also be pulling 2 clarification cards, so it's quite a few cards for each of the 12 signs. This video might be done in 2 parts. I'm not sure how long this is going to take. So if it is in 2 parts, I'll be doing Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn, Sagittarius, Scorpio and Libra in part 1, and Virgo, Leo, Cancer, Gemini, Taurus and Aries in part 2. So the sun in Pisces, what does this mean generally? So Pisces is the 3rd water sign. It's the final sign in the zodiac. It's a collective water sign. It's linked into the big unconscious ocean that we swim in. It's a night sign, a yin sign. It's receptive. It's about drawing things in. It's about sitting in contemplation. Pisces, the sign is the 2 fishes, and they are moving in different directions. It's about bringing in this sense of light and dark, finding space for every narrative and holding compassion for it. I talk more about this Pisces in my new moon videos, so as I said, please do check those out. Pisces is also a mutable sign. This is about change. This is about adaptability. This is about being able to hold more than one thing at a time. This is the sign before we move into the spring equinox in Aries, which is a cardinal energy, which is about starting things. This is about incorporating everything that we've learned in the past year and integrating it and bringing it into who you are. There's a sense of boundlessness with Pisces. There's a sense of magic. As I said, you can hold deep compassion for everyone, but it can often mean that you might lose sense of yourself. Pisces is ruled by Jupiter, so we'll be looking at where Jupiter is, which is in Aries, which is the first fire sign. It's the spark of life. It's very much about the individual. So I really like these energies incorporating together and marking the sun's journey through Pisces. The sun is the center of the universe. It is in our personal charts, it's how we see ourselves, how we'd like to be. It's this sense of illumination of self. And so when the sun moves through Pisces, this is going to help bring a new perspective, shine light on who we think we are and how others may see us, and bring information to light in that area of your chart. I'll also be looking to where Leo falls in everyone's chart, because Leo rules the sun, and so it can turn up in this area of your life. Do check out your rising sign first. The astrology will be linked into those of you based on your rising sign, but you can also get a lot of information and wisdom by looking at your sun sign, your moon sign, or any other planet that you have in your chart. Or if you just want to look to that particular sign in your chart, even if you don't have any planets or points there, we still have all the 12 signs in our chart, which means this energy is available to us. So for water signs, this is gonna trine. The water signs, a trine aspect is an aspect of Jupiter. This is about bringing in opportunities to seek wisdom and being able to integrate. For those of you who so for the fire signs, so for Aries, this is going to be next door to you. This is going to be something that is quite hard to see, that is going to help integrate that part of your life. For Leo, this is going to be in your 8th house, which is but regardless whether it's in your 8th house, for Leo, this is going to be what's called an inconjunct. This means balancing very different perspectives, and sometimes it might feel like there's a lot going on and that you can't integrate, but it's also helping you look in different ways to solve problems. For Sagittarius, this will be a sextile energy. This is an aspect of, a square energy. This square is an aspect of Mars. This can bring about conflict, but it's also friction and movement, and this is the ability to manifest in the 3D world. For earth signs, these will, for Taurus and Capricorn, this will be a sextile. And a sextile is an aspect of Venus. This is bringing about this desire to bring in harmony, creative ideas, peace, and desire in those areas of your life. And for Virgo, this is going to be an opposition. This is about trying to find balance, trying to integrate very different signs, but they also have things in common. This is, so again, like I said, this can feel like a bit of a seesaw moment. You might move from Virgo to Pisces, and through that journey of finding balance between the two and understanding. For the air signs, so for Gemini, this is a square. Again, as I said, that's an aspect of Mars. This is bringing about possible conflict, but more so friction and bringing things into the 3D world. For Libra, this is an inconjunct. Again, this is trying to balance different things, different ways of looking at things. It can seem a bit chaotic, but through that chaos and trying to find a different perspective, you can integrate and have more understanding. For Aquarius, this is what's called inversion. So then they're next to each other, so they can't quite see each other, but there's a familiarity. This is about, again, this is about shining a light on what can't quite be seen and helping to integrate that into your practice. Is that, yeah, that I think that's all the signs. So I'll be now moving into doing Pisces, the Pisces reading, and I really hope you all will enjoy the messages that come through. Oh, I completely forgot. So this is the card that I pulled as a message from the Sun in Pisces, and I'm just going to read it out. The description makes reference to Eden. I'm not necessarily linking this into Christianity, but what that represents, that sort of I'll just read it out. So, soul retrieval is a practice that helps you recover a part of yourself, your energy, your enthusiasm, or your innocence that you have lost. At first, we'll use soul retrieval to recover from our hurts and heal our childhood wounds. Later, we learn to journey to recover our original nature, that self that never left the Garden of Eden, who still speaks to the rivers, the trees, and to God. When we return to Eden, we are whole again. As I said, Pisces is the collective water sign. It is about the all within the one. It's about this big soup of collective consciousness, and that could be linked into God or the universe, or however you want to phrase that, of a point of originality that we all come from. All rivers lead to the ocean, but when our individual drop goes into that ocean, it is unable to see itself other than both a drop and the ocean itself. So I feel like this message is very, very interlinked into the Pisces energy. The invitation: you are no longer fragmented. You are one with creation. You have healed the cause of pain you feel, so you do not need to dwell on it any longer. Really, it's true. If you are still hovering over an old wound, find a new flight path. Don't be distracted with the little stuff you've already mastered. Go for the big one, the journey back to Eden. So again, as I said, those all rivers lead to the ocean. It's our journey back into understanding that we too are the universe manifest in itself in individual form. The medicine. When did you compromise what you truly believed in to be loved or accepted by someone? Think back over your life and find the time or times when this happened. Vow never to compromise your integrity again. What have you agreed to in the name of love that you know is deeply wrong? Make it right in this instant. So this is really tapping into that power of magic that Pisces has, that ability to, as I said, you know, we're water, we're mostly water. So being able to tap into this collective water energy really helps us bring compassion and understanding to those hurts that we've had. But I like that it's bringing in this individuality, this Jupiter being in Aries, of really helping you bring about structure and your own boundaries in terms of being an individual. With Pisces, there can be often this need to merge with other people, or having such deep compassion for others that you don't necessarily see the wood from the trees. And this is really asking you to tap in to this collective energy of love, but really focusing it back on yourself and empowering yourself through that act. So now I will truly begin with the all 12 signs. Pisces rising. How are you doing, Pisces? So the sun is going to be moving, for those of you with Pisces rising, the sun is going to be moving through your first house. The first house is your house. It's the house of self. It's your embodiment of your sun's energy. It's how your actions translate in the world, the lens in which they move through. It's your body, it's your appearance, it's how others see you. So with the sun moving through here, you're going to have some illumination about who you are, how you are, having a sense of vitality during this month, because the sun's energy brings that vitality, brings that strength, and really bringing some clarity to who you are and what it is that you, how you want your actions to be in the world. And this is also preempting Saturn's journey into Pisces. And Saturn will be moving in on the 7th of March. So there's going to be a big shift happening in your first house. That's going to I'll be doing a video on Saturn in Pisces, and I've talked about it a lot with the Aquarius videos that just happened and the Pisces videos. So if you want more information on that, do go check those out. So, as I say, we've got this moving through your first house. This is going to be affecting how you may see yourself and your actions, and how others may see you. And we have Jupiter, who rules Pisces, so the flavour of what Jupiter's doing is going to be impacting the sun's movement through Pisces. And Jupiter is in your second house of Aries. The second house is the house of your values, your resources. It's how you make your income, it's how you manifest, it's the things you sort of carry with you that you care about, and the things you put value in. It's also your value of yourself. And Jupiter and Chiron are moving through there, really helping bring a sense of wisdom and understanding about what your value system is, maybe bringing some luck in terms of how you bring in some money to yourself. And this, again, with the sun moving through Pisces, this is going to be impacting on, again, how other people see you, and how you want to be seen, and how your actions are, and really incorporating your sense of values and what it is that you care about during this time. Sorry, I just realised I should start shuffling some cards. And as I said in the introduction, I'm going to be talking about where Leo is, because Leo is ruled by the sun, and when the sun transits different signs, it tends to show up in the sign of Leo. And you have Leo in the 6th house. This is the house of work and health and routines. It can be a bit of a difficult house to understand and put energy into, because it is what's called an inconjunct to your first house, for those of you with Pisces rising. And so this means that there's Leo and Pisces don't necessarily have a lot in common, so it can seem like you're juggling a lot of plates and struggling to sort of understand. There might be some friction, a bit of tension. The sixth house, it's quite hard to get those routines, especially looking after our health. And work in terms of like having a roof over your head and the money that you make to get that roof over your head. But with this energy coming through with Jupiter, which is trining Leo. And a trine is an aspect of Jupiter about bringing about opportunities and wisdom and learning and integration. That this is helping facilitate how you establish your routines, how you look at your health. And so this is a lovely transit to have, even if it might feel a little bit difficult. For those of you who don't have Leo, Pisces rising, the energies of the trine and the inconjunct still apply to wherever you have these signs in your natal chart. So this inconjunct, so how might that manifest? That might be that you some light is shone on that area of your life. You might have a bit more understanding of how you want your actions to be in terms of taking care of yourself, in terms of making some money. Sorry, in terms of your work life, health life balance. Especially bringing in that Jupiter about what it is that you value and how you care about yourself. With that Aries energy, it's very potent, powerful fire energy that's can be a bit feisty, wanting to go out and charge off on your own, there's a sense of competition there. Okay, they wanted all those cards, or did they? No, just the Magician. So I'm not going to read the cards until I've got all of them out. There will be 4 tarot cards and 2 clarifying cards. So we've got this conjunction coming up on the 16th that will be the Sun conjunct Neptune and Mercury not far behind. So there's this sense of dissolving of self, of the fantasy of the magical with Neptune conjunct the Sun. It could lead to a sense of illusion or delusion during this time, but if we want to tap into the higher level of this, especially with Mercury there, it's really able to help you tap into those untangible fantasies of how you see yourself and how your actions are. This is also with Mercury there, it's this sense of communication. Oh, do we want that one? This sense of communication and being able to communicate what it is that you care about. The Sun is often how you would best want to see yourself. So it's bringing a light of who you, it's bringing a sense of illumination to perhaps that hidden unknown with that Neptune, and being able to communicate to you through your actions of what happens during this time. Okay, I just want to check to see if these are the cards that want to come through. So the first card will be what we sort of integrated with the Sun moving through Aquarius, and that's your 12th house. So that's your hidden house, the things that you need to integrate, your concepts of yourself, and Saturn's been moving through there. So I'm just going to wait to see what these cards want to bring about in the order that they want to be in. So the last couple of readings, for those of you who are regulars, I'm sure you've heard me say this a lot, that the energies have been playing up a fair amount in terms of moving around until I get to translate what's going on. So I'm just going to do a bit of energy work and then wait to see if these are the cards. The cards are in the right order. Okay, I feel like so Pisces. With the lessons that we've been learning with the sun moving through Aquarius. So you've had Saturn there for a while, and Saturn really likes being in the 12th house for those of you with Pisces rising. But it feels like you've gone through some battles, and you're still, so this is the Nine of Wands. You fought a lot of battles during that time. We all really have, with Saturn moving through Aquarius. Saturn is the sort of taskmaster. It sets up limitations and boundaries and frustrations, and can make us feel like we haven't been seen. But these fights, these battles, these trials and tribulations that you've been overcoming have been from a place of, this figure's determined to keep very sure in the battle that they're fighting, and has been able and willing to keep doing all the fights, and keep going into battle, and not losing hope, but still being quite burnt out and quite weary. But there's a real strength here. There's a real strength that the long term of this is, you've gone through this energy. You've been able to weather the storm, and the lessons from Saturn are for our long term higher integrity about what it is that we truly care about and respect. And what I love about this spread is the movement of the sun into Pisces. We've got the Ace of Cups. This is a water sign, and this is a water card, and the cups represent the element of water. And this is a new journey. This is the Ace of Cups. The aces are full of, they're such potent energy. They hold all of the energy of the rest of the suit that they have. And I love about this is the water is overflowing. Your cup is overflowing. You will be replenished with the sun moving through Pisces to really give you a new lease of the way that you connect to your emotions. This is very battle weary, very drained out, and this is showing renewal and new life. You see the water is pouring into this space, and there's a sense of abundance, and we have these two birds of peace representing a calmness, a regeneration, a space. We then got the four of swords coming up for the conjunction with Mercury and Neptune and the Sun on the 16th of March. And this is all about resting in the sanctuary of God. In the traditional Rider-Waite, this is a stained glass window, and the figure is in a church. When I say God, I mean the universe. I mean however you want to connect to that something bigger than yourself that holds you and holds space for you. And this is bringing about a suggestion that around the conjunction is to be still. Pisces is all about being receptive. Spend some time in rest. Spend some time in an energy that is temple-like. That doesn't have to be literal. It can be figurative. Meditation. Maybe having a bath during that conjunction, to tap into that water energy. But it's being at rest with your mind. And to see what comes through. That's a lovely message for that conjunction, especially with the Neptune. It's there's a real sense of expansiveness and an openness to what isn't tangible. So it's not necessarily about going out and doing things for you Pisces, especially during your first house. Just be a bit still and a bit quiet, and the results the sort of the energies and how they manifest moving forward for the long term is the Magician. The Magician has all the tools the Magician needs in order to create, in order to instigate and activate magic in the world and manifestation in the world. This is the card linked into Mercury, this ability to communicate on a higher level. And act on a higher level. Very potent energy coming through for you, especially with this transit for those of you with Pisces rising for the first house. But for any sort of Pisces energy, this is really showing you that you've gone through some stuff, but that there's a regeneration, and there's a space for rest, and being receptive and moving forward. you know, the sun will be moving into Aries, which is much more of an active sign, of being able to manifest and take action. So I'm just going to pull a card from the Numerology deck. This could be either be a clarification card for... but again, as I said, we would. This has reminded me about Leo. Just pulled the Pride card about how this could show up in your 6th house or wherever Leo falls, is remembering to take pride in the things that you do. Remember to be, you know, you can tap into that sense of self, that heart space, and pride in who you are and your journey through your existence. You know, as I said, you feel like you've been a bit battle worn. You're still very strong in what you're doing. But I love this link to the Ace of Cups of pride doesn't need to be boastful. There can be this inner pride in everything that you do and who you are. I'm also going to pull a card from the First Light Tarot. Okay. So the card, Who May I Help, has come through. Just going to pull one more from this deck, because it's a mixture of questions and the major arcana. And I just feel that we want a bit more clarification on that. Going into that message, we just pulled the Empress. Development, growth, abundance, productivity. But the message with the soul retrieval in the introduction was all about tending to yourself. And I'm you know, for those of you Pisces rising, this is your house. It's the sense of self. This is a time to look to yourself and help yourself and bring that the Empress energy. I'm just hold that up so you can see it. The Empress energy. And this is about abundance. This is about truly enjoying the 3D world. And it's a sense of fertility, a sense of growth here. So I don't know if you saw that they put the Nine of Wands in between the Sun and the Soul Retrieval card, about fighting battles and feeling like you've been knocked about a bit. Your soul's been knocked about a bit, especially with the 12th house transit. For those of you with Pisces rising, this is real healing. This is I pulled this. I didn't pull this. This crystal came up in the new moon video, and this is a crystal linked into Aries, so really helping heal that individual self. We also have Jupiter with Chiron in Aries, and that's deep healing in who you are as an individual. It's a lovely message coming through. Love that you've got the Magician as the end result. Apologies. With the Empress, really asking you to look inward to yourself and care for yourself as if you were caring for your own beloved. Okay, Pisces, I'm going to leave it at that. Be well until we meet again. Aquarius rising. How are you doing, Aquarius? For those of you who have Aquarius rising, the sun is going to be moving through your 2nd house. Your 2nd house is your resources. This is what you value, what you bring forward. This could be money, this could be things, this could be ideas. This is how you manifest in the world. It's also linked into how you value yourself. And so with the sun moving through this sign, this is really shining a light on what it is that you value. Maybe bringing some connection in of how other people see you and value you, linking into resources and money. This might mean that a new opportunity could come through during this time. It's a precursor before Saturn moves in on the 7th of March. And when Saturn does, for the I can't remember what degree the sun will be at, but then for the rest of the transit, we've now got this sense of form and structure coming through. But the lead up to that, we've got this the sun being able to tap into that collective consciousness energy, that energizing this part of your chart. You may start to focus on that a bit more during this time. And we also looked where Jupiter is. We look to where Jupiter is, and Jupiter is in your third house, in the sign of Aries. The third house is the things you do out in the world on a day-to-day basis, how you go to work, the things that you do at work on a day-to-day, the people that you meet. It's your environment, your local vicinity, your environment. It can also be linked into communication, short distance travel, and going back to school, or starting a new discovery of something, like doing a short course. Traditionally, it's the house of the goddess, which is opposite the ninth house, which is the house of the god. And this is about bringing your big picture philosophies into your day-to-day, finding the divine in your day-to-day habits, bringing a bit more sense of ritual and meaning and understanding into that house. Jupiter moving through there with Aries is helping you bring about a sense of wisdom and understanding, maybe meeting someone in your day-to-day who's going to, because Jupiter can often link into sort of guru energy, or somebody who's going to be able to share some information that opens up your worldview. So this energy is sort of funneling into your second house. So the things that you may encounter and do on a day-to-day basis may affect how you view your sense of value and what you value in the not necessarily in the outside world, but rather than your sense of value, but the things that you value around you. As I said, this could be possessions, ideas, how you make your money, and manifestations. So there's some support coming in from your day-to-day. And we also look to where Leo is, and Leo is in, for those of you with Aquarius rising, this is opposite your first house, in your seventh house of relationships. And so this means that things could come up in your one-to-one relationships that, so seventh house of relationships, this could be business, romantic, friendship, but it's sort of intimate relationships or one-to-one contracts with people. So things could come up in that area of your life that help you reevaluate and shine light on what it is that you value, and how you manifest in this world. So yeah, keep an eye out on that area of your chart to see what comes up. So we've got the 4 cards now. I'm just going to move them around and see where they want to go. So we've got a card for the energies of the sun moving through Aquarius, and we've got so that's predating the sun moving into Pisces, and then we've got the energy of the sun moving through Pisces. And there's also a card for the conjunction with the sun, Neptune and Mercury. And then finally a 4th card of how these, for those of you who've watched some of my videos lately, the energies have been quite playful when moving these cards around. So I'm just going to let them do their thing and talk a little bit more to see where they want to end up. So and then the final card of the energies of how these energies are all coming together for the long term and moving forward. So we've got 2 major arcana here for you, Aquarius. And for those of you who don't have Aquarius rising, when I've talked about the sextile with Jupiter, this is still relevant. It will just be in a different house. So a sextile is an energy. So the 3rd house where Jupiter is sextiling Aquarius. This is an aspect of Venus. This is about bringing in harmony, desire, peace, creativity. And so, yeah, so this, for those of you with Aquarius rising, this is linked into your sense of self and who you are and your actions. So you're being facilitated here. But that applies to whatever house, whatever house Aries and Pisces and Aquarius lie for you. So that sextile energy is still there. The second house is what we called inverted, where they can't really see each other. They're next door. They share, they move. It's quite difficult to describe this. So there's a transition stage from house to house. So they sort of bring in the energies of the house before and so kind of rectify it and shift gear a bit. So that's still relevant, and the opposition energy is still relevant. And so with an opposition, this can sometimes there's an imbalance here and can seesaw from one energy to the other. This is linked into the full moon energy, and things can come up that represent triggers and unmet needs that you need to deal with, that help bring an integration to bring things into balance. Because with oppositions, it's asking us to find some harmony between those two, so they don't seesaw radically from one thing to another. Okay, so it looks like they're not wanting to move the cards around, so let's just do a bit more energy work, and then I'll get to reading your cards. So we've got the Queen of Wands, which is for the sun's journey through Aquarius. Now, we've had Saturn move through there, and Saturn, this has been moving through your first house. And I love that the Queen of Wands is coming up, because Saturn's been a bit of a taskmaster, and through the house of self is really perhaps making you really focus on what's integral to you, and stepping up to the plate and being responsible for your actions, for how others see you, like how you embody your sun sign out in the world. And with the Queen of Wands coming through, this is lovely. This is showing there's a sense of, with the Queens, there's a sense of knowing what you're doing. There's a sense of command, a sense of authority. This is a Wands card, which is a fire sign. This is about reigniting passion, this desire to be creative, this desire to have motivation, and to start things and get things going. And I like that that's the outcome of the sun moving through that sign for you, that it's really helped you level up. And now you've got the motivation and desire for movement with wands. Saturn moving through Aquarius, there's a restriction there. There's a sense of boundaries, of not necessarily being able to be as active and out in the world as you'd like to be. And the Queen of Wands is highlighting this ability to start creating new ways of doing things, and having a real command and understanding of that. So the other card that we've got coming up, this is great, Aquarius, for the second house. So this is for the sun moving through Pisces, which is, as I was talking about, this is about how you make money. This is your values, what you value, and how you manifest. The Nine of Pentacles. Very independent energy, making good decisions in order to get to this space of being able to just chill in your garden, chatting to the birds. There's a foundation here, there's a groundedness here of having made, as I said, the right decisions can take you to this space of abundance. And the sun moving through this sign as a precursor to Saturn moving in there is really highlighting that this transit and Saturn moving through there is really going to help bring responsibility into your second house, that's going to lead to a space of abundance. Don't know if you can see here, I've got this was left in the property that I live in, and is one of my representations of Pisces. And then we've got the two, not fishes, but dolphins in different directions, and the card is wanting to stay there. Because even though this transit is just for a month, especially with the Pisces moons and Venus moving through there, and then we're going to have Mercury move through there, through Pisces. It's bringing about sort of signals and signs of what's going to happen with Saturn. I'll also be doing a video on Saturn as well. And so for the conjunction between the Sun, Neptune and Mercury, you've got the Moon, which I love. The Moon can be linked into illusion and delusions. And that's certainly something that can come up during this time with Neptune. But the Moon is also about intuition. It's about being receptive. It's about being able to look at things in different ways. With moonlight, when the sun is shining, you know, it's funny that this is coming up with when we're talking about the sun, but the sunlight, it's very clear what things look like. In moonlight, you can imagine lots of different things. This is really asking you to contemplate that which isn't tangible. It's asking you to sit during this conjunction, to be to have a sense of stillness, to lean into imagination and be in a state of deep relaxation. We can't always control what happens. This is about being open to possibilities and not having that sense of A to B and planning everything out. It's about asking you to be aware of your sense of self, but how we are also everything. And this is really helping you to tap into your instincts and trust in your intuition, really be in your intuitive body at this time and be receptive to the magic and mystery that can come through. You may receive insights and visions about the long-term goals for your second house during that transit, which is on the 16th of March, and it will be in the lead up to that and following, because Mercury will then I think the next day or the day after that will then properly conjunct the Sun, when you might get a bit more clarity. Apologies. So the energy for everything coming together and how this is moving forward is the Magician. I love this. I just pulled this for the final card for Pisces as well. You know, this is the Magician has all the resources that it needs in order to create, in order to take action, in order to manifest magic in the real world. There's a real sense of direction, of the ability to just get up and go and do things. It could be linked into what's going on in Aries moving forward, of after the space of receptivity of Pisces, when the Sun moves into Aries, it's now time to take action in the world. So I'm just gonna, well, they want to do some energy work first actually. So I'm going to pull a card from, so I'm wondering, so it's just moved there to the soul retrieval, because we look to the 7th house for those of you with Aquarius rising, or wherever you have Leo. But for those of you with Aquarius rising, the 7th house is your one-to-one relationships. And this really asks you to look to past hurts, past love, not taking care of yourself on an individual basis. And this is kind of implying that the capacity to change this, to integrate that, to retrieve your soul, and hence integrating, hence retrieving, you're then able to truly act from your own space with your resources and create things in the world. Okay, so I'm going to pull a card from the Numerology deck. And for those of you without Aquarius rising, wherever Leo falls in your chart, you know, it's asking you to look to your heart, because Leo rules the heart, and do some heart care. Do go check out my Leo videos. The full moon, I feel like, is very relevant for a lot of this year. Especially as we're going to have a Venus retrograde in Leo, which is one of the biggest retrogrades of the year, and it's a personal planet, so it affects us on a very personal level. That we're really being asked to tend to our heart at this well, at all times. It is the Sun is the focal point of the universe. So we got 2 came up here. I wonder if they want both of these. So we've got abundance. Okay, they didn't want the other one, or do they? No. So we've got the abundance card, which I love for a second house transit. It's wanting to go over the Jupiter card here. And Jupiter is often linked into abundance. It likes to provide opportunities to help make things bigger. And so I'm really liking that for you, Aquarius, that we've got another little wink from Jupiter about bringing in abundance into your life. So I pulled the code card, which says puzzles, synchronicities, and coincidence. Now, I pulled the synchronicity. Let's see if they want another one. I pulled the synchronicities card for the main Pisces new moon reading, because Piscean energy, very magical. Lots of things happen that can't necessarily be explained, but make a lot of sense, this sense of knowing. I'm just looking up what the description is for code is in the First Light Tarot book. And so it feels like you're going to get lots of signs and nods in the right direction to where you might want to look to help elevate this energy. There are codes all around you every day. The challenge is to recognize your connection to them. The Earth has turned into one giant puzzle at this time in its being. Mother Earth wants and needs to be understood, but she speaks in code, in synchronicities, in mystery. Solving the code is imperative. Finding out what signs are being given specifically to you, whether from the Earth, the source, or via your awakening process, has never been more important to your survival and joy. Take note of strange coincidences in your life. They often are herding you down a coded path where you need to be. Ignore them and things can be difficult. I don't necessarily agree with that. I find like with messages, they keep coming, so you're almost at peace with them. Like you kind of know which ones are for you and you're happy to move into it. I think it's quite hard to ignore the signs because you're usually on that wavelength of wanting to receive, especially with the Pisces energy of being a night sign and a yin sign. So a feminine is more receptive, more drawing in. You're already sort of in that space of wanting to receive during this period. Study the signs so you do not understand. Discuss them with like-minded individuals. I like that being linked into your third house of people you meet on a day-to-day basis, as well as your one-to-one relationships. And as I said, that can be business, romantic, or your intimate friends. It's just it's those meaningful relationships that you have in your life. Well, Aquarius. Great reading. I really hope you enjoyed that. Do hit the like button and subscribe if it resonated. For those of you who are not already subscribed to the channel, I really appreciate the interaction. If there's any comments or messages that you want to leave, I'd love to hear from you all. And yeah, be well until we meet again, Aquarius. Capricorn rising. How are you doing, Capricorn? So for those of you who have Capricorn rising, this transit of the sun is happening in your third house. The third house is your day-to-day out in the world, your local community, the things the movements you do on a regular basis, the activities you do on a regular basis. This is can be the house of communication. It's short distance travel, and as well as starting something new, learning something new that you haven't necessarily learnt before, taking a short course. It's traditionally the house of the goddess, which is opposite the ninth house, which is the house of the god, where the ninth house is your big picture philosophies. The third house, and the house being the house of the goddess, is really asking you to bring in the universe, the divine, the creator, your personal philosophies into your day-to-day movements, cooking a ritual of love and joy and of abundance, or anything like that. I really like the third house for that. So we've got the sun moving through there, and the third house for Capricorn rising is sextiling your first house, and this is an aspect of Venus. And this is about wanting to bring in harmony, creativity, peace, and diplomacy into that area of your life. So you may feel that there's an ease, there's a sense of flow in your day-to-day life with the sun moving through Pisces. We also look to where Jupiter is, because Jupiter rules Pisces traditionally. And oh, for those of you who don't have Capricorn rising, when I talk about aspects, this is still relevant. So the energy, as I was talking about the Venus aspect, that's still relevant to wherever you have these signs in your chart. But the houses might not be as relevant. You can often still get a lot of information from them. Anyway, you've got Jupiter, and Jupiter is in Aries in your 4th house. This is the house of home, foundations, parents, private life. This is very personal to you, also linked into ancestors. And this is squaring Capricorn. So the square energy is linked into Mars. And it's funny, I was talking about Mars. So Mars is in Gemini, an air sign, so I wonder if that's linked into that. Anyway, so this square energy is an aspect of Mars, which can bring about conflict, but also the way I look at it is friction. Friction, we need friction in order to bring things into the 3D world. This is a manifestation energy. This brings things into reality, whereas trines and sextiles tend to be more inspirational and more energetics than coming up literally in your life. So with that square, for those of you with Capricorn rising to yourself, it's Jupiter's helping provide wisdom and understanding of what it is that you need in your home, in your private life. It might have brought a sense of expansion, a sense of abundance, to understand what it is that you need in your home life. And this is in your private life, and how, especially with Chiron there, helping you heal a lot of wounds linked into the 4th house. And Jupiter really easing that pain with that transit, and because Jupiter's a bit of a yes planet, it likes to incorporate everything within itself, but there's a real sense of support with Jupiter, and so with this square to Capricorn, even though it's a Mars energy, is things are coming about that are there's still that sense of flow and that sense of ease with that Jupiter being involved. And so these things that are coming up here in the 4th house are going to sort of flavour your 3rd house interactions, how you might be a bit more at peace with the 3rd house, with your day-to-day, and being able to sort of understand and shine light on what it is that you care about, how you're seen on a day-to-day basis from other people. And we look to where Leo is in your chart, because the sun is ruled by Leo. So things might come up in that area of your chart that are linked in to linked into what's happening in Pisces. So Leo for Capricorn rising is in your 8th house. This is the house of the outside world's resources. This is how you interact with the outside world in terms of give and take. This can be time, money, things. It's linked into inheritance. And I see it as cosmic inheritance as well as 3D inheritance. And I'm sure you might have heard me say, those of you who may watch on a regular basis, sometimes cards don't come out because the energies want to do some energy work linked into your reading. Just had an energetic release there. I don't know what that was about particularly. So things might come up. And this is in conjunct Capricorn, so there's lots of juggling of plates here, lots of different perspectives, trying to integrate. There may be a sense of frustration, but with the sextile from Pisces in your 3rd house, it feels like things might come up about, there might be new opportunities of sharing resources, getting the resources that you need to go about in your day-to-day, which may have an impact on your private life and how comfortable you feel in that space, and being able to it just feels like there might be some more opportunities come up, because we've got the 3rd house, which is sort of the people you interact on a day-to-day basis. and linked in with the 8th of others people's resources. So it just feels like there might be some opportunities coming up of working with people, of there being a change in how you, because we're going to have Saturn moving into Pisces, which is going to sort of bring form and structure to that area of your life, but there might also be a sense of restriction and boundaries about how you move in the world. But I feel with Saturn moving into Pisces that it's sort of tempering the boundlessness that you can get with Pisces, giving a bit more support and strength. Did that want to come out? Yeah. Strength is going to come out in that area of your life. Right, so I'm going to see, we've got 3 major arcana here, Capricorn. Let's see where they all want to go. Right, they're going to move these around. I know I'm a bit of a stuck record, but the energies really have been playing up a fair amount with the cards and moving them around. Moving them around a fair amount, and sometimes when I'm like halfway through reading, they'll then switch them over, and it's like, okay guys, I'm just going to wait a moment to see if they want to move them around anymore. Wow, the Fool, the Sun, and Justice. This is pretty powerful stuff. But yeah, I'm not going to launch into saying anything until enough time has passed for the energies to give the hint that they don't want to change them around. So we've got the Knight of Swords, and so this is the Sun's journey through Aquarius. And Aquarius is in your 2nd house of what you value. I feel like there's a lot of energy with the Knight of Swords. I did come out while I was talking about Mars. Mars was in Gemini, which was trining. And Gemini is your house of work. Trining your 2nd house of values and how you make money. And it feels like getting to grips with Mars in Gemini has helped you be able to sort of be able to charge out and defend your ideas and your values of who you are and how you manifest in the world, and getting that support. It may have felt like a bit of a battle as well, because the Knight of Swords, they are charging to defend something. And there's a bit of a chaotic energy with the Knight of Swords, but and that you may have felt with Saturn moving through Aquarius that you've been having to fight a lot. You've been having to work out what it is that you want to go into battle for. And by that, it's like, what do you value? What do you want to prioritize? Which area of, what fights are worth fighting? That's definitely been a lot of the Mars retrograde and Mars's journey through Gemini that we've been doing. Both air signs, so trining each other, lots of shared resources going on there. And then for the Sun's journey through Pisces, we've got the Fool. I love that this Fool's come up for the 3rd house. It's looking at your day-to-day and the things you do on a day-to-day basis, the community that you're in, from the mindset of the Fool, being very open to what's coming in. And the Fool doesn't see opportunities or events or interactions as good or bad. The Fool is so open to just the wonder of going on an adventure, the wonder of the human experience. And I love that that's coming through for you in that. Sometimes our day-to-day can feel a bit heavy, can get a bit same old, and this is really sort of giving you a new lease of life on how that looks. And if we're linking that into your private life as well, that energy is intermingling with Jupiter moving through your fourth, there might be a need, feeling of wanting to move, going on a new journey. But we'll probably see that more, see what comes up in Aries season. And then for the conjunction between Neptune, the Sun, and Mercury, we've got the Sun card. This is about, I feel this is receiving understanding and knowledge of self, light really being shone on, because we've got Mercury there communicating with the Sun, and Neptune of that sort of, and then a couple of this is like the lead up to this conjunction, which is on the 16th, and then Mercury I think will conjunct the Sun either the next day or the day after, of where really going to be able to receive that information of wisdom, of clarity of thought, which is funny to say including Neptune, but this is all about your sense of self, who you are. There's a sense of happiness and joy with this card, of like it's an illumination onto whatever wisdom and understanding comes through with that conjunction. The Sun is linked into your personality and character, and for the third house, and because it's coming up through the 8th house of shared resources, and how you share your resources with the world and how they share back. This is a real great light of showing on what it is that you need and what it is that you are in these spaces, and being in receipt of the light of the Sun, of that warmth, of that glow, of feeling supported. And then we have the Justice card for how these energies are going to manifest moving forward. So the Justice card is about being able to make decisions based on compassion and equity. So that's a sense of fairness and an understanding of, and it's also could be linked into justice being served, getting what it is that is fair to you in this environment and this situation. There's a calmness to justice, that especially following the Sun, that things are coming back into balance. Things are coming back into balance, which can, as I said, this is linking the 8th and the 3rd together. So, but overall, this sense of as I said, balance, the scales coming up in your 3rd house of how you operate in the world, how you interact with the outside world in your local community, and the resources you may interact, the give and take between yourself and the community that you're in, and there may be something bigger coming. Oh, that's quite a lot of cards. Let's see, let's try that one again. Something something coming through from that 8th house. Right, let's see if they'll let a card come out now. But I like that we've got the Knight of the Sword starting this journey, and Justice, who has a sword in her hand, being the final card, the sort of bookends between the two, with these wonderful, the Fool and this. The reason why I feel like something big is happening, because you've got 3 major arcana. So it'd be really interesting to hear how that manifests, and they are positive cards. But as I said, the sort of hecticness, the energeticness of the Knight of Swords, of needing to be in battle, and then we've got Justice, which is about bringing in a sense of compassion and equity and bringing things back into balance. Let's see what card wants to come out from the numerology deck. They're being a little bit resistant. Alright, let's try again. Yeah, I really feel the Fool is selected to this, is connected to this soul retrieval card. This ability to be, no, that's far too many. This ability to be, sorry, they've all just fallen on the floor. They're being a bit difficult with you, Capricorn. It's like they're really wanting to do a bit more energy work. But the Fool linked into the soul retrieval of this ability to integrate and shift energy gears and be back more into a state of the now, the present, that is linked into the Fool of accepting, holding space for past traumas, but acknowledging that you are in the now, you are in the moment. It doesn't mean you're invalidating those felt experiences and the pain and grief that may have come with them. Pisces energy is all about understanding the light and the dark, and knowing that you can't have one without the other. But I'm loving this Fool energy come in. I'm really liking this for you. This, as I said, this there we go. Okay, we've got spiritual career come in. Really being able to, again, linking to that soul retrieval and the Fool and the magic of Pisces, like every career can be a spiritual career. It's, again, that third house element of bringing into your day to day, the sense of the divine, the sense of the universe, that spiritual sense in everything that you do. And it doesn't really matter what job you have, you can still hold space for that energy. Oh. I pulled the Emperor card, which is Aries. Logic, stability, plans. That's quite an interesting card to come up. I'm wondering, okay, is that a hint of where we're headed? Because the sun is obviously moving into Aries, but you know, this is, hey energies, this is a reading about the Pisces. You know, well, let's not jump too ahead of ourselves. But the Emperor is all about, I mean, there's got logic, stability, plans, and order on this card. There's a real sense of having command. The Emperor holds space for all the kings. This is very, there's a sense of control, and as it says, stability. Let's see where that wants to go. Okay, it's just wanted to go off the deck. I'm wondering, so just I've got a box of extras of this deck, and the Emperor card just wanted to go there, so I just want to see if another card from this deck wanted to come out for you, Capricorn. I might be wrong on that. Sometimes my you know, this is one of the things with intuition and working with the unknown, the how to qualify and understand what is part of a message, part of a synchronicity, or brilliant. So we've got the Fool again. Big Fool energy. I love this. So we've got two Fools. Interesting, the Emperor with the Fool card. They're very different energies, but that combination is really quite wonderful, of being sure of yourself with the Emperor. It's in a different way of being sure of yourself with the Fool. I mean, the Fool is just open. There's a real innocence to the Fool. With the Emperor, there's been there, done that, know what I'm doing, have command, have control, able to sort of stand up for myself in a sort of boundary way, a very individual sense. But, you know, the Emperor is a lot about leadership. You know, linking into this third house energy of working in the community from a space of power, but not in a asking for power, needing power, but just that knowing that there's a reason, there's an authority for good reason. This is interesting. I like this energy. I like the combination of the Emperor and two Fools. I wonder if that means two different journeys, two different spaces of going on a new adventure. But there is a great sense of command and of understanding, even with that I just love, I'm just sort of enjoying the sensation of thinking about the Fool and the Emperor combined. Okay, so that's just confirming what I was saying earlier about those two bookending each other, Justice and the Knight of Swords, of bringing that sense of balance, bringing that sense of compassion, but fairness and equity into that area of your life. Oh, this is a lovely, I like this reading, Capricorn. Do let me know how this might show up in your existence. I'm very curious. Love the fact you got the two Fools. That's hilarious. Okay, I'm going to love you and leave you, Capricorn. Be well until we meet again. Sagittarius rising. How are you doing, Sag? So for those of you with Sagittarius rising, you have this Sun transit happening in your 4th house. This is your house of home, private life, roots, foundations, ancestors, parents. And this is squaring Sagittarius. A square is an aspect of Mars. This can bring about conflict, but it can also bring about friction. It's the aspect, one of the aspects that helps bring things into the 3D world, because we need friction, we need movement in order for things to be real in linear 3D 3D reality. But there may also be, for you Sagittarius rising, this is your 1st house. Sag is in your 1st house, so this is your house of self. And so with this square aspect, this transit, and you're both mutable signs, so there's a real sense of change and of movement, and so it might mean that things are a bit, lots of changes are going to happen, lots during this time. So the Sun moving through there is really shining a light on how it is that you see that part of your life and yourself in that part of your life. And we are, it's really interesting, I started speaking a lot slower than I was before. Strange, and some energy in my heart chakra right now. So we look to where Jupiter is, because Jupiter rules Pisces, and Jupiter is in your 5th house of creativity. And this is a trine aspect to Sagittarius. So when I mention the aspects, for those of you who don't have Sagittarius rising, but placements in Sag, the aspects and the energies that those mean are still relevant. So with a trine, this is an aspect of Jupiter. This is two fire signs talking to each other. They have shared resources and shared understanding. And Aries is a cardinal energy, which is about starting things. and bringing things into motivation, into action. And so you've got this starting energy and ability to change and adapt energy of Sagittarius. So working out what needs to be changed in the things that you're instigating and things that you're starting. So the fifth house is the house of creativity. And this is creation energy. This is also linked into children, but like all creative pursuits, you could arguably call them your children, things that you birth out into the world. So the energies will want to move these around for a bit before I start reading them. So with Jupiter moving through your fifth house, you've got, and Chiron, there's a sense of expansion, of growth, of how you view your creative energy, healing those wounds that Chiron is highlighting, helping you transmute that energy to bring about a sense of opportunities, a sense of abundance that Jupiter can bring in, integrating into the bigger truth of things, of how you look at your creative energy. And with this trine to Sagittarius, then it's giving you some free-flowing opportunities and ideas of what it is that you think is you and yourself and how others see that. But this energy from Jupiter, this creation energy, is coming into your fourth house. It's because Jupiter rules Pisces. So you've got these creative juices, this understanding of wisdom linked into what it is that brings you a sense of joy and generosity into that creation energy into your private life. So it might mean that you bring some creative activities into your home life. Had an energetic release with that. And so because the sun is ruled by Leo, we look to where Leo is in your chart, and for Sagittarius risings, Leo is in the 9th house. So we've got 3 fire signs being activated for you, Sag. So that's bringing in a sense of a grand fire trine. This is all 3 fire signs talking to each other, but it was showing up in Leo in your 9th house. So this is the house of higher education. This is your big picture philosophies, how you map out the world, the universe, and your place in it. And it's, as I said, it's linked into higher education and foreign travel, but foreign travel is in going and living somewhere for a period of time that is not what you grew up with. And with the higher education, it's about mastery. It's about not necessarily completing, but certainly getting into the mastery of having learnt something, because both of those things help you get different perspectives and perhaps be able to share your perspectives with others. So things may turn up in that area of your life. It's also linked into publications and the law. So things may come up in that area of your life that are facilitating the sun's journey through your 4th house. So helping you, maybe you're contemplating the outside world, understanding how the outside world works in your home, in your private life, in your downtime. Maybe these things that come up in that area of your life may change your perspective on what your foundations are, may change how you look at your home life, or how you look at your parents. You may be, a learning opportunity may come up that may mean that you have to relocate. So let's see if they're ever going to stop doing this and putting these cards down. So we've got 2 major arcana here and 2 sword cards. Now, I don't want to read these cards yet until they've put them in the right way. But there's also there's always a slight nervousness that I have of letting the energies have a bit of more free reign, because certainly my personal experiences, they can do things for hours on end, and we don't really have time for that here, guys. So Yeah, so this transit is going to preempting Saturn's transit moving into Pisces. I'll be doing a big video on that one, but Saturn could bring about a sense of restriction and boundaries and isolation in your home life. But it can also, because it's moving into Pisces and it's not in its home sign, it's in Jupiter's sign, could be bringing about form to sort of the boundlessness that you may feel linked into your home. The apologies for not talking sometimes when I'm channeling. It's quite hard to talk, think, and move and channel at the same time. I'm going to wait a second to see if they're going to move them again. But I was talking about Saturn, and so this energy of the sun moving through Aquarius before hitting into Pisces is going over that old territory of Saturn moving through Aquarius, and that is for Sagittarius rising. That's the third house of day-to-day, what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, your local community, short distance travel and courses. And Saturn transiting Aquarius can have, we've learned a lot of lessons during that time, and and it feels sorry, I'm just quite wary because there have been times where I'm halfway through doing the reading and then they'll move them around again. Yeah, anyway, so with Saturn moving through Aquarius, particularly with this being the swords, this is the Eight of Swords, so this is about feeling like you're trapped, but you're not, and the ability to just, if you just move a little bit, the bonds become loose and you're then able to see that you're not surrounded by swords and you can in fact leave the situation. With Saturn moving through your third house of your community, you may have felt the boundaries and restrictions in that community that have being Saturn's journey through there, helping you learn to understand that you are in fact free, that you are able to so with Saturn, it's about learning what it is that we really care about. So maybe the community that you were in during this time wasn't the one that you needed to be in. Apologies. And Saturn moving through there, even though it may have felt quite isolating and lonely, that it's meant that you've been able to move through this phase, because this is the past phase, move through there, understand where you're at and why you've been there, because that was the sun's journey through Aquarius, integrate those lessons and then be able to move forward, and perhaps move into a different community. So with the sun moving through Pisces, we've got the Page of Swords. Pages are very useful energy, bringing in a new idea, being a messenger of a new idea, of a way of thinking. But there's also a sense of diplomacy with the Page of Swords, asking you to think in a different way. And be open to thinking in different ways. So with this coming up in your fourth house, and opportunities and potentially manifesting through your ninth of really asking you to change perspective on how it is that you view your foundations, how it is that you view your private life, and what it is that you really need from that. And there's a real boundlessness with Pisces that you may have felt that you haven't had any structure, or that anywhere is your home. And this transit feels like maybe will help you assess what it is that you want to have as a home and where you want to have as a home. And so with the conjunction that we've got with the Sun and Neptune and Mercury, so it's on the 16th between the Sun and Neptune, and then Mercury's just shy of a degree away from that conjunction, and I think it's either the next day or the day after that it will be conjunct the Sun, where there's this dreaminess, there's this boundlessness of Neptune, this tapping into the untangible, and the Sun shining light on how that changes your perspective. And with Mercury involved, it's then like how you communicate, how that shows up in your fourth house, that understanding of where you're at and the people in your private life. We've got the Emperor, and this is about leadership. And this is about autonomy. This is an Aries sign. And we talked about Jupiter being in Aries and being in the sign of your creation energy. So really being able to bring in that creation energy into your private life, into your personal space, your home, and getting momentum going there and having a sense of authority and command over that. The Emperor is the King of Kings, you know, it holds space for all of the King energy in there, that real sense of knowing what you're doing and having dominion over it. And yeah, this is interesting energy coming through for that conjunction. I feel like it's helping you be able to have some more autonomy in who you are and how you operate in the world. You know, with the sense of sovereignty that comes with the Emperors, anywhere can be your home. I know that may seem like a bit of but with Pisces in the fourth house, it's that real sense of being able to find home, a sense of home wherever you are. And with the Emperor coming through with that transit is really accentuating that strength within that allows you to really lean into that idea of having that just vastness and understanding and compassion for wherever it is that you lay your head. I like the combination of that energy. And then we have for the energies and how they're manifesting moving forward, we've got the Hangman in reverse. This is about having been in a space of stillness, having received some divine wisdom. This is now about getting up and going out into the world and really integrating what it is that you've learnt into who you are, and really embodying that in the outside world. And so with the fourth house, that's you know, having flipped yourself upside down with the Hangman upright, it's again integrating in the physical, in the 3D, with this square to Sagittarius. So whether that's sun, moon, or rising, that's really bringing about integration and manifestation in your sense of self, into that aspect, into the Pisces area of your life, and having an innate sense of wisdom and sovereignty while you're doing it. Which is a great change from this Eight of Wands energy, which is about feeling trapped and trapped in this space of illusion of misconstruing what the reality of the situation is. There's a real sense of understanding that and being able to so we've got the Emperor, which is really grounded in the present, and the Hangman, which can be very linked into the different perspectives, that Piscean energy of and bringing those two together and knowing that one does not invalidate the other. A real sense of duality combined. So the card that we have is financial discipline. which is interesting. It's usually they're quite apparent when I pull those cards. Sorry, I'm just pausing. I'm just seeing if they want another card. Okay, they're picking up the First Light Tarot. I was going to get a bit more clarity on that financial discipline, because we're not really dealing with houses that link into financial discipline, but I like that it's coming up, because that's something probably we could all need, especially with all this fire energy coming through, this ability to sort of burn through money. So it's a nice sort of grounding outlet that's happening with that energy coming through. So let's see what comes out with the First Light Tarot. We've got conspiracy, truth, the value of theory. Sag, this is probably one of the first times where I've been a bit like, what's going on here? It feels like there's a nuanced message. But that conspiracy, just as I said, that came out. Personal message just came out. This conspiracy, I can see this being linked into the Eight of Swords. Of you think you know the truth, but the reality of the situation is very different. Maybe they're moving that financial. Okay, do they want another card? They're moving that financial discipline card to where the sun's moving through the third house. So, the third house is the things you do on a regular basis, maybe helping you get in. We've got the Lovers card come through, union, matters of the heart, choice and physical love. Well, I was just talking about, so Lovers is linked into Gemini, sense of duality. I was just talking about, it's interesting, it's put it there, this the bringing in the reality and the non-tangible. Yeah, so I was just thinking a bit more about Saturn and the Saturn transit. Having moved through your third and moving into your fourth, of bringing about a sense of responsibility and groundedness. But this is kind of implying that they're giving you, there's a bit more of a trajectory here of being in the sense of union is going to bring about financial discipline. I mean, that's a pretty, well, I'll take it. I really hope that's, if for any of you Sagittarius who resonate with that, do let me know. I'm really intrigued. I hope that helps, Sag, and be well until we meet again. Sorry, I just paused, but I want to, something just flashed into my mind while I was packing the cards away. So not having financial discipline can often be linked into trauma, and trauma that we've experienced both on a personal level, ancestral level and a collective level. And we're dealing with the fourth and the fifth house here, and we often receive a lot of trauma in the fourth house. And the Pisces movement could be shedding a light on that, and that's why it's coming up in your ninth house of understanding the big picture. And with the Jupiter Chiron moving through the fifth house again, our creativity can get blocked, our creation energy can get blocked through trauma. And there's a deep this soul retrieval card that was linked into the general message for the sun moving through Pisces is letting go of past hurts, integrating and letting go and moving on, and getting back into that space of vitality and usefulness. And with that ability to heal past traumas, integrate them, is means that you kind of adult yourself and step up to yourself, particularly if you may have felt neglect in your childhood, that it then can bring about this sense of committing to your life, committing to long-term things, which is all what Saturn's doing, and Saturn moving through your fourth could really highlight that. and then being able to bring in the sense of financial discipline. Sorry, I just wanted, because sometimes there's a lot going on, and if I should pause more during videos, because then often things pop into my head that bring everything together. Anyway, Sag, I hope that helps. So Scorpio, Scorpio rising. I pause in between each things because often I do energetic releases that people might not necessarily have time for, but or they've decided to move the card, the Sun card. You might not be able to see on top of the stag's head, which I'm using as a representation of Jupiter in Aries, of bringing in that sense of wisdom and longevity into that Aries energy. They've also brought in my pendulum, which is blue and purple fluorite, to sort of connect all these things together. I just thought I would show you rather than move these things back into place, just to show you what the energies are sort of channeling in. I also have a few of the crystals that I used on the new moon in Pisces video. And they're wanting to get involved as well, Scorpio. Not surprised. Fellow water sign. I've definitely noticed a trend with these all 12 signs is when I'm dealing with the same element of the transit that I'm talking about, that the energies just get a bit more potent. You're sharing resources. So speaking of which, Scorpio rising, for those of you with Scorpio rising, you're having this transit in your 5th house. This is your house of creation energy. This is a house of fun, amusement, games. This is also the house of children. This is the house, it's a house of pleasure. But creation energy can mean, it's why I focus on that word, on that term, rather than highlighting the children, because anything that we put out into the world from that creative space could arguably be called, we're birthing into the world. But you've got this trine with Scorpio from Pisces, and a trine is an aspect of Jupiter. And it's about bringing a sense of abundance, a sense of opportunities for wisdom to integrate and expand. Just had an energetic release there. With the sun moving through Pisces, this is helping shine a light of understanding of self in your area of creativity. There's a real sense of illumination to that area of your life. And because Pisces is ruled by Jupiter, we look to where Jupiter is. And Jupiter is in the sign of Aries in your 6th house. This is the house of work and health and routines. With this link into the 5th house of creativity, it really feels that Jupiter is really assisting your growth and ability to commit to things, commit to routines, commit to your health and your habits. And the more that we do that, the more our creative energy is able to flow and be boosted. And sometimes creating something takes a lot of hard work, takes a lot of effort. That is the house, the 6th house. And so having Jupiter move through there, connecting with this Pisces energy, is really helping facilitate your ability to commit and put in the hard work to your creative energy. And now you're being assisted by the sun with this lovely trine. Do we want this one? I don't think that's 2. No, we don't want those. We'll see if they come out again. It's having this trine aspect, really facilitating your sense of self into this area of your life. And because Pisces, those are the 2 I must have turned over. Do we want this one? Do we? There was a lot of energy coming from that card, but it wasn't quite a firm yes to that card coming through. So because this is a sun transit, we look to where Leo is, because Leo is ruled by the sun, and you have Leo in your 10th house of career. And the 10th house is your life purpose and how the big outside world sees you. So things may come up in that area of your life linked into this creative energy. Probably maybe opportunities, maybe people may see you differently. You may see that area of your life and have some more... because this is a square to Scorpio, this squares are ruled by Mars. And so for those of you without a Scorpio ascendant, when I talk about the aspects, so square, trine, and that energy that represents, that's still relevant to those of you who don't have a Scorpio ascendant, because it's still it just depends, it's just moved into different areas of your life. So that square to Scorpio from Leo, that's things turning up, things manifesting in the 3D world, you know, effort being put in. It's ruled by Mars. Which is linked into, I just seem to want to have some more cards come out. There's a lot of energy coming out here, and I'm just getting the idea that this isn't the full picture for you, Scorpio. Which is unusual. That's quite a lot of cards. I'll talk about them in a second. I just want to finish talking about the general energies at the moment. So the square is ruled by Mars, and that can bring about conflict, but it's also where friction comes about, and we need friction in order to create and manifest in this linear time frame that we're in. So we have this energy coming from that Leo space, that your heart space, who you are, your sense of authenticity, the guiding light in your house of career for those of you with and life purpose for those of you with Scorpio rising. Squaring your Scorpio energy would be that sun, moon or rising, that sense of self, that sense of understanding of who you are and how you operate in the world on a day-to-day basis. But it's a very personal house, the first house. So we have this trine aspect with the sun moving through Pisces, bringing light and helping illuminate that area of your life and facilitating facilitating that 10th house space. Oh, it's really strange. I've got this, my eyes are half open and they've been wide open the whole time, and there's a real sense of, oh, I've just got an energetic release now. Yeah, this is, there's a lot of water energy coming in, but there's a real, my hands are just over my forehead, over my third eye. So I'm tapping this into the sense of being seen, of how one feels like you're seen in the outside world. Oh, that was strange. So, sorry, Scorpio, this is, I'm dealing with some interesting energy coming through. Let's see where these cards want to go. So we pulled, these are the cards that I pulled. They just felt like your past, apart from that one, they felt like where you've been and what you've been doing. Sorry if I'm not speaking, Scorpio. There's just, this energy is, there's a depth to it. do apologise again. I'm feeling quite... Sometimes when I'm channeling, I can talk at the same time, and there are other times where it's like, oh no. No. Okay, let's see if they want to do anything more for you, Scorpio. Right, I think we might be done. So, there were a lot of cards that were coming out during that reading that just didn't feel that they were part of the main reading. Except for that one. When that one popped out, but then they put it there, I was like, does that really want to be there? I don't think that wants to be there. It's a funny process trying to work out from your sort of felt intuition, well, for me anyway, that I'm going through, of what's actually true. So this very much feels like where you've been going. So this is linking into your house of creativity, but this is also the journey of the sun moving through Aquarius as well. So there's this sense of, these are all quite heavy cards. There's a sense of grief and not being able to look at the two cups, and the fact that if you stop focusing on this and start on your journey again, traditionally this figure is in black representing grief. Once you go over the bridge, there's a whole castle. This is particularly interesting, linked into the fact that Aquarius has been going through Saturn and the Sun have been going through Aquarius, which is your fourth house of home and foundations. And there's definitely movement happening here, and a shift away from this space. We've got the Eight of Swords in reverse, showing that you may have felt that you've been trapped, but now you have been working on unloosening your bonds and escaping this illusion of being trapped by taking action. We have the Eight of Cups, which is about leaving a situation that may have seemed to the outside world as a place of stability and comfort, and going on a journey, okay, they're moving them around. So going on a journey in order to find yourself. So this figure, this makes more sense actually. So this figure is going up to, sometimes these energies do, I'm just like, oh guys, can we not be a bit more efficient? That's the Virgo sun in me. Climbing a mountain to get a new perspective and understanding of yourself, which has led to this moving through and escaping this sense of feeling trapped, or leaving a situation that was that genuinely felt trapped, but you had the ability to move on. And the card that wants to crown that and keep that in the past is this the Six of Swords. You see here the choppy waters and then the calm waters. These figures are have everything that they need, things that they've tried and tested, and because in the Crowley deck this is linked into science, but I link that into doing things, getting rid of doing it, not experiment, it's in the things that you have worked out and embodied and thought through that still hold the test of time, the things that you're still going to take on your journey if you have to pack up your bags and move somewhere, the things that are important to you, the things that make sense and that have value to you. But as I said, choppy waters and then calm. This is about going on a journey, moving from a different perspective into a different place. So this is so that's the sun moving through Aquarius, and the lessons that you've been learning through that phase of Saturn being there as well. And so for the sun moving through Pisces, we've got the Eight of Pentacles. This is the Mastery card. This is about really loving what you're doing and honing your craft. And what are we doing here? Loving what you're doing. Okay, interesting putting that with the Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords has been through some stuff. She's experienced now, and she's got a real clarity and understanding of how she tackles things. So it's interesting combining those through the journey of moving through Pisces, of having that real steeliness in that Pisces energy of knowing what to commit to, and being able to keep your head above the clouds during what might be a very intensely watery energy. I like that we've got some sword energy coming in there, of giving perspective and helping find some balance with that water energy. So it feels like some good ideas are going to come through during this time that have sort of longevity to them, and a sense of authority coming through. So check out what you're thinking about during this time. So we've got the Ace of Cups coming through for the conjunction with Neptune. Mercury is going to be involved as well, and I think will be so this is happening on the 16th of March. So the time leading up to this and then a couple of days after are all great days to sort of interact with those energies. So we've got the Ace of Cups coming through. This is a new lease of emotional connection. This is a space of abundance. This is a free flow. I love this with you, Scorpio, with Pisces, all this water in the house of creativity. Like there's just an effervescence of flowing of connectivity and nourishment with this card. And with the final card of how this is going to manifest is the Four of Pentacles here. I like this in terms of sort of, we're linking back into that Leo energy of your sense of purpose in the world, your career. The Four of Pentacles, there's a real command of the material world, of there's stability here. In the Crowley deck, this is power card. This is a power card. This is there's a sense of having command over the material world and abundance. There's another side to it of holding on to things, but I'm not really getting that energy coming through here. There's just a real strength and stability and autonomy here with the 3D world, compared to sort of the journey that you've been on with all of this stuff of needing to go on and find a new perspective, having gone through a space of grief. I love that we've got the Four coming up at the end, because there's stability there. There's groundedness, there's foundations in the long term. So I'm just going to pull a numerology card to see what else comes through. But the Mastery card, the Eight of Pentacles for this journey through Pisces is really lovely, especially if we're linking it, as I said, back into that 10th house energy of things coming up, of really getting to understand your sense of life purpose. with the coolness and calmness of the you couldn't make it up. Creativity. Oh, love it. And diligence. There's a real diligence coming through with that Jupiterian energy in your 6th house, of being able to commit to and find a sense of expansion in how you work and the pleasure that you get from it. Just just had an energetic release there. I'm pulling a card from the First Light Tarot to see what else is coming through. So as I said in some of the other signs, and I think I really should have said that at the beginning of the introduction, for those of you who don't have Scorpio rising, when I'm, as I said, or maybe I've already said this. Do we want this one? So we've got the Hermit card coming through. Guide, facts, wisdom, truth. In the traditional Rider-Waite, the Hermit card has the star in their lantern, and it's about going inward and cultivating a real sense of self and the wisdom that comes from it, and just going inward a bit and spending time, you know, perhaps with the sun moving through your 5th house, of really, you know, going into that hermit space and finding the time to be creative, and feeding that cosmic energy. And this is the Hermit's also opposite Pisces, so because the Hermit is a Virgo card, of giving you that energy of understanding the beauty and the magic in the small details, and really mastering both the big picture and the small picture in order to accumulate into a really grounded space of strength. I'm really liking that for you, Scorpio. I really hope that helps, and be well until we meet again. So Libra rising. So I pause in between each of these signs, and the energies are moving things around, and I thought, you know, rather than not show that, I thought you might be interested in seeing what's going on. So they had the soul retrieval card on top of that coral, yeah, really engaging with the crystals. Do go check out the description box in the new moon in Pisces collective reading. I write out the meanings of these, and they're all linked into Pisces and Aries, which is very fitting with the energy that we've got going on here. So Libra rising, you have this transit of the sun going through Pisces in your 6th house. This is your house of work, habits, routine, and this can, for Libra risings, 6th house can be quite difficult to integrate, because the Pisces and Libra don't have anything in common, and so it's called an inconjunct, and it's about lots of different plates being juggled, or juggling plates and then juggling balls with the other hand. Like, they're very different things, but there's still a sense of commonality of having to don't know if this is making much sense, of having to understand how juggling both of you're juggling, but you're juggling different types of things, so there's different modalities and different shapes, but there's still that essence of juggling, which is, I guess, the natal chart, which is and you as a person. So often we don't, it's, you know, it's hard work for a reason to make things routine. Often we neglect our health. We find work maybe frustrating if it's not if we're just trying to make money to put a roof over our heads. You can also, the 6th house, strangely linked into pets. So we've got this sun moving through Pisces, and so the sun is going to be illuminating and bringing some wisdom and insight into that area of your life. And because and it's sort of preempting Saturn's ingress, which will be happening on the 7th of March, but Pisces is ruled Pisces is ruled by Jupiter, which is one of the reasons why I turned on the video while I was moving those things around, is because I have the stag here, which is representing Jupiter's moving through Aries, and you have Aries, and that's where Jupiter is. So you have Aries in your 7th house, and the 7th house is the house of the other. This is your intimate relationships. This can be business, one-to-one relationships, one-to-one friendships, and romantic relationships. And Jupiter moving through the 7th house can often mean a sort of leveling up in what it is that you want from your relationships, bringing a sense of expansion. Can also mean a new partner coming in. But if you're in a relationship, it's about really committing to what it is that's important to your authentic truth when it comes to relationships, and bringing about opportunities to fix what might need to be fixed, or to bring in a new change altogether. So the reason why I turned it on is because they were wanting to put these things, and especially the soul retrieval thing, which if you listen to the introduction, talked about letting go of past love hurts, or however your heart has been hurt, in order to be present in the now, and bring in that space of connecting to the universe, like the abundance, the collectiveness, collective emotional field that we have with Pisces. So this energy that we've got with Jupiter in your 7th house, this energy that we've got. So sometimes the cards aren't coming out because the energies want to do some energy work. Entities, or however I call them. Anyway, so yeah, they're being a little bit feisty today. Which, yeah, compared to the Pisces new moon, all 12 signs that I did, they were definitely off the rail a little bit more than they have been. I've been grateful, but I'm also aware of not taking up time, too much time of people, and trying to get to the point, which is hilarious because that's my Virgo sun, and I'm dealing with Pisces energy, which is just like, nah, it doesn't matter. I was talking about Jupiter in the 7th house. So I've talked about this with you before, Libra, because this has come up before. Because the work that we do, taking care of ourselves, which is pretty much the 6th house, and it's hard work. We often don't do that if we've faced trauma. And the value of ourself is diminished. Just had quite an energetic release of that, and that can come up in not only our childhood, or it can come up in so many different places, but predominantly in our one-to-one relationships or our romantic relationships, of not being seen, not being valued, not being loved in the way that we can love and we value. And Jupiter moving through your sign, the 7th house sign, is really helping bring understanding and wisdom and a sense of opportunity to heal that, because Chiron's moving through there as well, the wounded healer. That the more we come to at peace with whatever may have happened in our personal relationships, and the more we see, and with that internal peace, it can ripple out and change the relationships that we're in, and bring in the vibrational level of relationships at that higher level, at that more nourishing level. That the more that's happening in your 7th house, which is what's going on, will funnel into facilitating your ability to parent yourself in the 6th house, and commit to your work, commit to your routines, commit to taking care of your physical body, and genuinely looking after yourself. So that's why, as I said, it's why I turned on the video, so you could see what I was doing, because it's bringing in these Aries and these Pisces crystals, and putting this all together with that soul retrieval card, which I know is a general message for everyone, but it can really apply to the 7th house and Libra. We have, so because the sun is ruled by Leo, no, the sun rules Leo. Leo does not rule the sun. The sun is ruled by Leo. No, Leo is ruled by the sun. We look to where Leo is in your chart, because that's where things can pop up, linked into the Piscean transit. So we have Leo in your 11th house, and the 11th house is the sign of groups, alliances, people you want to be around in a big group sense, your hopes and your wishes. And this is sextiling Libra, and a sextile is an aspect of Venus that's bringing about harmony and connection, creativity. So things may come up in groups that may help give inspiration to changing a new health routine, how you, maybe there's an opportunity to grow in your work environment comes up through the 11th house. And really giving insight into how to facilitate this 6th house energy, also reflected in your hopes and your dreams. Maybe having this understanding yourself through the Jupiter transit opposite the 7th house. So this is an opposition between Libra and Aries, of finding balance between that, and really having healthier relationships can facilitate your, I also see the 7th house as your relationship with the universe or creator, or however you see it, and also kind of your relationship with yourself, all the different parts of who you are. Integrating all of this and facilitating all of this can help that opposition energy bounce through and connect to the 11th house to help you understand what your hopes and dreams are, help you commit to establishing healthy routines. With the Pisces in the 6th, maybe get involved with some water, start drinking more water, go swimming, really tap into that sense of creativity and connection. Maybe you need, when you I'm just talking about health here, you need to be in groups in order to get something out of a health routine. Just got one more card to pull. And so we've got Saturn moving in here. Saturn's going, I'll do a video on that. Saturn's moving in on the 7th of March. Do we want this one? Oh, sorry. Oh dear. What's going on? Okay, cool. I thought so, but the energies have been a bit tricksy. Where do we want to go? So I don't know if you can see off camera, over the 7 of Wands, they've put the Jupiter card, Soul Retrieval, and the 3 of Pentacles. But I'm just going to wait and see where these all want to go. Where do you want to go? So the first card is going to be the Sun's journey through Aquarius, and that was through your 5th house of creativity. Sorry, I'm just going to pause. I pause. Sometimes I struggle to talk while I'm doing this, because channeling and talking and thinking at the same time can sometimes be a bit much. Just going to wait a second to see if this is where the cards want to go, because sometimes there's So the sun moving through Aquarius in your fifth house of creativity, dating, amusement, games, play. So that's the sun's final journey before through Aquarius with Saturn. So that energy is really helping shine a light on what you've been through, what you've learned, how you see yourself. And interesting, I'm getting through with this is like this. So this is about competition, but you're on the higher ground. So thinking that you're in a competitive state. I don't usually do love readings, but I'm getting that feeling of even though you're in a position of strength here, you haven't felt that you were, and that you're in this. So with Saturn moving through that sign, there may have been like restrictions and boundaries and frustrations when it comes to that area of your life that you may have felt that you've had to fight for something, that you've been in competition for something when you haven't been, or you have, and you're always gonna come out on top in that situation. With the sun moving through Pisces, we've got the Wheel of Fortune, which is a Jupiter card. And this is about fortunes changing. So we're linking this into the movement through the sixth house, and how there's a change of fortune coming about for the better, and really helping you integrate the hard work that you're doing in that area of your life. Is a great abundance card to have. You've got a Jupiter ruled sign there, so this ability to be able to commit to and find space for those things that might be a bit more difficult in the sixth house. And what I love, we've got for the conjunction coming up between Neptune, Mercury and the Sun. This is happening on the 16th of March. The conjunction with Mercury, I think, is the next day or the day after. So it's those sort of 4 days around that time of being in, seeing what comes up, because it's an interesting combination of energies here. And we have, so I was talking about, because this is the sun transit, we looked where Leo is, and that's in sort of groups and friends, and this is the Three of Pentacles, and this is all about collaboration. This is all about craftsmanship, meeting other people on the same level as where you're at, and being able to build something not only beautiful but long lasting. And I love that you've got a Pentacle card coming up in this house, because this is about hard work, and but in order to get good, you need to put the hours in. And this is saying that it's going to, you may have some assistance and help from the outside world, from people in groups, and all your friends or your alliances of who you're going to collaborate together to help bring something into manifestation, whether that's health routines, whether that's working together. So they're just tapping on my heart chakra. I'm having a lot of energetic releases with that. And wherever you're headed is victory. So this is how the energies are going to manifest moving forward. This is having gone out, done the things, won the battle. You're now coming home and you're going to be celebrated. But this is a communal effort. It's not just this one person helped achieve this. It was a part of a whole. And I love this coming up with the Pisces energy of the one within the all. You can still celebrate the individual within the collective. This journey with Jupiter and Pisces is really asking to bring both of those elements and integrate them. But I'm really enjoying the fact that you've got this victory card coming up after, this sense of being in competition. That there's more of a working together with this energy coming through, especially with the confirmed by the Three of Pentacles. So I'm going to pull a card from the Numerology deck. This can also be a clarification card for one of the tarot cards. Intuition. Okay, that's wanting to go on the Amethyst, which is linked into Pisces, which is getting some clarity coming through. I just want to feel out to see if they want another card. Okay, they're going for the first light tarot. Let's see what comes up. So what I'm getting from that intuition card is, because you have Pisces in that 6th house, it's in your best interest to sort of not overthink things and really lean in to what's coming up from that intuitive space, to channel that great power that you have there in your working life, in your routines, in your health, and being able to use that to your benefit. And we're going to have Saturn move through into Pisces on the 7th of March, and I really get a strong impression, I'll be doing a full video on it, but a strong impression that Saturn, because of, it's going to be a different vibe than it's been in Capricorn and Aquarius, because Saturn rules those signs. So it's Saturn on Saturn. We've got Saturn on Jupiter here, and Jupiter is, they're both, it's the greater benefics and malefic together. So there's more of a sense of yes, and of abundance with Saturn moving through here, of giving form to Pisces, giving form to that intuition, giving some structure, giving a system to help with that intuition. And we also got the diversity card, which came up with blending. It says blending, and it's gone over that past energy of being in competition. So it's an interesting card to come up, this diversity card, and it's kind of making me think, so with the seven of wands, there is that sense of competition, of being good at what you're doing. You may not necessarily realize it and it feel quite heavy, but that the fact that there is competition. We've also got the synchronicity card that wanted to come through. Again, that's highlighting the double, with intuition, of highlighting that very Piscean energy of, because this is a strange message. So acknowledging that other people are good, and being comfortable, and knowing that you are as well. Sometimes we may look at what other people are doing and not feel in a state of abundance, feel that there are limited resources, and this is kind of highlighting that diversity, that sense of competition that is part of it. It doesn't diminish from your individual self, and that interacting with different things and engaging with different things is going to help facilitate that ability to feel grounded in yourself. I don't know, sorry, it's Pisces energy, it's the all within the one, that these are all also on a strong footing as well, of moving away from the winner takes all, that we can't all, and you've got a lot of collaboration cards in here as well, so it's moving away from competition and moving into collaboration. And this may also pop up in your one-to-one relationships of making sure that you're working together, and not in competition with one another, unless that's, you know, the kind of competition that you're enjoying and is actually based on fun rather than lack. Okay, Libra, I really hope that helps, and be well until we meet again.